G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in on the southeast side of the map, we've got Vortex, who is playing the Chinese. His opponent, who spawns on the opposite side of the map, gonna be playing the Holy Roman Empire for us today, and it is Puppy Paw, aka One Puppy Paw. So I don't know exactly what's happened, whether he's I'm gonna hope that he has adopted a puppy that only has one leg and that he hasn't cut. Look, I'm not gonna say it, but look. Puppy Paw, we're gonna have to talk about this. Beautiful spawn here for Puppy Paw. Let's just talk about this. Gold mine right next to his deer. Incredibly strong. This is so insane for the Holy Roman Empire. Why is it so strong? Because this prelate is able to come out here. He's able to buff this. Oh, you gotta be careful, little villager. You're working too hard. You're working too fast, my friend. Come back. There you go. There you go. So normally with the Holy Roman Empire, you're going to make a decision in the early game. You're like, where is the prelate going to go? Is he going to go to the gold mine? Is he going to go to the mill? Is he going to go to the wood line? Is he going to go to the mill? Is he going to go to the brewery? Is he going to go to the mill? And normally he ends up going to the brewery because he gets budged a little bit and he's like, I'm not doing it now. And subsequently, you know, it doesn't work out. But this is beautiful. The fact that he's able to sit here, he's able to buff up all of these villagers here is going to give him a huge advantage in the early game. So Puppy Paw looking pretty strong. Now, for anybody unfamiliar with these two players, Puppy Paw rank 71 at the moment, so pretty darn decent. His opponent, Vortex, rank number 6, so I guess that's all right as well. And keep in mind, Vortex, I don't want to... look, I'm not going to spoil anything, but he played a very recent series against Marine Lord as part of EGC TV's Winner Stays On series, and let's just say, it was a pretty good series. Vortex did pretty well in that. So I'm looking forward to this game. I think it's going to be big. But this is part of EGC TV's series, which is called the Winter Series. So I'm going to leave a link in the description to the Discord for EGC TV. I encourage you guys, go check that one out if you're interested in seeing more content or just interested in getting pinged anytime that the stream does go live, because there's a lot of good quality content, a lot of competitive content that comes out of there, a lot of interesting strategies as well. But let's talk more about how we expect this game to be going. So opening up with the Chinese, with the Imperial official on the mill, going to be keeping this one nice and steady. So keep in mind that you want to make sure that your mill has got 20 tax, and then you're going to be sending the Imperial official back to drop that tax off. By the same token, you've got the lumber camp down here as well. You can actually hear him picking up that 20 tax. How did he get 20 tax so fast? He must have... Okay, so there's this little trick that you can do to sort of like force a drop, or he might have actually just been holding onto some tax. So that is always an option as well. But yes, he's going to be looking to age up here without actually dropping down any sort of mining camp on the gold mine. So you can see that he does have access to gold in the base, but he's not going to need it at this point in time because he's going to be able to use his Imperial official to do it all for him. You can see he's going to be heading up towards 180 gold. And I look forward to seeing how he's going to be playing this. Now, this map is notoriously good for the Holy Roman Empire. And look, I say that within the context of, you know, there's not many good maps for them. It's like, when it comes to the Holy Roman Empire, there is Boulder Bay, which is a great map for the Holy Roman Empire. There's Warring Islands and Archipelago, which aren't terrible maps for them. But when it comes to land maps, they really don't have a lot. But this map is probably one of the few maps where they're actually considered an acceptable pick, in my opinion. But obviously, you know, when it comes to this level, there's very small differences in the civilizations, but they can really add up to a big amount. But let's talk about exactly what we're going to be expecting to happen this game. So, obviously, he's dropping down the Archon Chapel. It's a beautiful Archon Chapel. The only thing that it's really missing out is a wood line. So, I would have loved if he'd just moved this Archon Chapel just over slightly. If he'd just gone right here, it would have been perfect. Would have been hitting this wood line perfectly, and subsequently, it would be given like a 10 out of 10 on the Archon Chapel there. So, he's going to be looking for probably a professional scouts into Fast Castle to take the relics. Probably going to be looking to put a couple of stables down during the transition period. Get out a couple of knights as well. So maybe 3, maybe 4 knights. And then depending on the level of aggression he sees out of his opponent, he's going to be looking to go into the Imperial Age. That's going to be his game plan. So China, as a response, needs to stay alive until they can actually get their game plan to kick in. So it's kind of like both players are racing to achieve their game plan here, and China's game plan is to essentially survive the fast Imperial push. But we'll have to see exactly how that plays out and whether that's actually what happens in this game. So Vortex, 5 villagers at the moment on gold. That's going to mean that he is probably going to be going for a professional scout build order. So he's yet to drop down a stable at this point. I say that, but there's actually a stable going up 3 villages up towards the north here. So he's going to be buffering out, or at least he should be putting out a few villages or a few scouts supervised by an Imperial official, but it doesn't look like we've got that. Professional scout's going to be coming out though. He does have this these deer already in his base. We'll take a look over at his opponent, Puppy Paw, and see what he is up to. So we do have the milk that is being dropped down. No professional scouts, at least not yet for him. You can see that he's got plenty of resources in the bank. If he wants to go for it, he can, but not going to be adding it in just yet. It might just be going for a naked fast castle, so no prof scouts out of him just yet. So we'll take a look over towards his opponent's base, and we do see those scouts coming out now. He should spot this. He sees the stable. He knows that there's already been one scout out. He did a call. So the way that the calling works typically is the calling only happens within a radius of the scout. So sometimes you'll just be chilling out. Come on. There we go. So that call only happens within a certain radius. So you've got to be really careful with it because you might spot, you know, a unit with your scout, but the voice line doesn't actually go off unless there's a unit within that close radius. Like that one. So, and that's why it's triggering off. So speaking of triggered, it looks like he is preventing his own triggering from happening by dropping down some walls over towards the west of his base. Actually going with a barracks. Very curious decision. So I think he's... What is he doing with this barracks? This is a head scratcher right here. Got a fair bit of resources in the bank, so looking to head up towards that next stage. Still not yet to get any professional scouts. And I gotta wonder what Puppy Paw is doing at this point, because he's definitely not playing towards what I would say is the quote-unquote meta thing to do. Especially going for a barracks as the Holy Roman Empire this early in the game. It looks to me obvious that he wants to be defensive right now, but I don't know. Just yeah, this is a curious one. Professional scout's going to be coming in, looking to begin stealing these. And one of the things to note, Vortex doing a great thing. So he picks up a deer carcass and then shoots another one and then leaves. So like such great timing there. He's going to be able to outplay his opponent here, or out micro the opponent. He's going to be careful with the scout. Scout runs right past those spears. He's not paying attention, so it could potentially go down. He's going to try and do his best to come in. Scout actually realizing that he's in a bit of trouble. Going to be caught up on that wolf, and just a split-second difference like that. He manages to come in. It all comes back to shooting that initial deer. I spoke about it, and you guys might think it's a nonchalant thing or such a small thing. It doesn't really matter. No, it matters massively. That's how he's able to get this scout out. You know, this scout survives. This scout lives on to see another day. He's going to go home to his wife, home to his kids. He's going to be a happy father. But, you know, had he not done that, the scout would not have survived. It would not have survived the day. And subsequently, Vortex is looking pretty decent in this spot. But we'll have a look and see what else he's beginning to do. So second town center going to be added in for Vortex here. So professional scouts into 2 TCs, which is what I've theorized would be the meta. And it's great to see that that is exactly what's happening out. We've got also a horseman coming out. Is that why? Is that why he opened with the barracks? You know what? You know what's happened? Okay, I know what's happened. Puppy Paw is going up against Vortex. He's really scared. Okay, Vortex is a really good player. I'm talking like an incredibly good player. So as a result, he's scouting him out. And remember, he had that scout down here earlier. And he spotted the stable. And he's like, oh, early stable. Okay, I'm going to react straight away. And I'm just going to throw down a barracks. And I'm going to get spears out to counter the stable. But not really thinking about it and thinking, well, hold on a minute. That stable might just be for some scouts. Horseman is going to be going up towards the north. At least I think that was Horseman. It looks like... I'm not sure if that's double Horseman or double Scout, but it kind of looks like double Horseman. We're going to have to check on the aesthetics of these units and just make sure. But I think it's just that, and it's not necessarily an overreaction. No, you know what? It's an overreaction. It's totally an overreaction. I would say it's almost maybe Puppy Paw not knowing what Vortex would do, or just sort of overthinking it, potentially. But Vortex behind this, still adding in that second town center. Looking pretty decent. So no upgrades really coming through from him other than professional scouts. No mining upgrade just yet. No wood chopping upgrades at all. And now we've got walls going to be coming up from Vortex as well. So both players looking to wall up and secure their base. Prelates now going to be out on the map. Obviously that Regnitz Cathedral is now out and about. So Puppy Paw going to be looking to fill that bad boy up. And we've got Vortex trying to deny that. But obviously the spear is going to be coming out and denying the deny. So if you deny a deny, is that like that's an enable? I don't even know. It's a double negative. It's a double negative. Spear going to be doing a great job here, managing to take out the first. Oh no, I take it back. Doesn't take out the first horseman. At least just not yet. But now going to be pushing back towards the base of his opponent. We've got the 3-on-1, but still, I probably still wouldn't want to take that fight. You lose so much health off those horsemen as a result of taking that fight. It's just not worth it. You can always, you've got meta arms that are going to come in here as well. So, yeah, you just got to be so careful. But now those relics going to get picked up. So he's got the first one that he's sealed up. That's 300 gold a minute for him. Second one coming in now. So it's going to be 600 gold a minute. Now, what else has he scouted out? He's spotted out this relic out towards this angle. Now, the scout is out here. So he could potentially, Vortex could potentially move out. And you can actually see that he is moving out towards that flank. Now, Vortex knows the other two relics are down here in this position. So it's going to be a tough sell for him to be able to come down there. That third relic is probably the most favorable position for him. So I would expect to see units moving over towards this direction. But now we've got the Dynasty going to be coming down for Vortex himself. He's looking to age up. So Vortex definitely playing it safe behind this, but I'm a big fan of the two town center play at this point. The one way that you're really able to beat out the Regnitz Cathedral and even the Palace of Swabia is just by putting down town centers and making villages. You just make a lot of villages. As long as you hit like 130, 140 villages, you're going to be okay as China. So that's really what Vortex needs to do for the game plan. Now having veteran spears coming out as well here. So the veteran spearman to me basically says I'm going to be playing age 3. That's what veteran spears says to me. So we'll have to see how Puppy Paw plays it. Curious macro right now for Puppy Paw. He's got a lot of units in the queue. We'll have to see how he manages to get this relic up. You can see that these units are just hovering around there. This is what Vortex wants, right? He's preying on this this single relic. So there's going to be a prelate coming out, and that's what he's looking for. He wants to pick that off. The scout is going to go down. So unfortunately, Puppy Paw is going to manage to secure that one up. So a pretty decent job. But at the same time, look at the amount of units that Vortex has forced his opponent to make. So all of these units right now have been forced into being made when they didn't need to be. I mentioned earlier about the fact that realistically Puppy Paw could get away with going like 2 or 3 stables, but only make 2 or 3 knights, and he's going to be okay. But, the subsequent response was, oh, I spotted a single stable from my opponent. I'm going to immediately react with a barracks. I'm going to immediately react with spears, just in case. And now I feel like Vortex has actually got Puppy Paw exactly where he wants him, so he's beginning to push through. And, the Barbican of the Sun is able to begin pumping out that damage. But realistically, I think that this is a great spot for Vortex, primarily because he's got the villager count. Obviously, his enemy's got this timing window right here to hit. The 2 relics are in, the third one's on the way back. So there's definitely a timing window that is going to exist here. But by the same token, for Vortex, he's got the walls up. As long as he makes ranged units and sits behind here, I think he's going to be in a great spot. So I'd love to see Clockwork Nest of Bees out for him and Palace Guards. That's what I'd love to see out from him. Now he's going to have a bit of a difficult time because he's got attacks happening on multiple fronts, getting sieged at the front, getting sieged over on the eastern side. We see that Vortex is now going to be laying down a second layer of walls here. Not going to be opting for stone walls. Probably a good thing to go for, at least at this point. We'll see how Vortex looks to play it. He's got scouts all over the map at the moment, going to be looking to just secure up vision. He really wants to spot out what his opponent is doing, and he sees units continuing to stream across the map at this point. I mean, there's 3 spears out here. He spots another knight coming out. He should probably know at this point that his enemy is thinking about staying in the second, or the third age, rather. And look at the, we've got plenty of units that are coming out. He was actually going to put the Sable here, but he changed his mind because he's got the Archon Chapel here. So very, very nice forethought there. But now Scout going to be fighting it out. Another Prelate going to be coming out. I don't think that there's any more relics down in this direction, so curious decision as to why that's happening. Horticulture now going to be coming through for Puppy Paw, so he's looking to invest a little bit more in his economy. I'd love to see him considering going up to the next stage. It's really, really important that he does that. He tries to get up to the next age as quickly as possible, because that Palace of Swabia is really going to help him carry in towards like the 25-30 minute mark, and that's really going to allow him to secure a decent economy here, because keep in mind, at this point in time, it's essentially, the best way to think about it on a graph is like you've got one player who's going up like this, and then one player who's like skyrocketing. Okay, and essentially Vortex is the player that's skyrocketing. Palace Guards, Nesta B is going to be coming out, exactly what we suspected. So the second Nesta B is going to be out here as well. Ideally wants to pull villagers in to heal this one up. We've got a Sacred Site being taken up towards the north here. Villagers need to come out. Villagers need to come out. He's got 17 villagers in this town center. He's going to be letting the Clockwork Nesta Bees go down. It's 300 health on that, and unfortunately the villagers are going to be sitting inside that town center. Not going to be doing a decent job of healing this up. He's going to be losing 2 Nesta Bees here. Third one potentially going to be going down. Villagers finally going to to be healing this up. And Puppy Paw picking up 1,200 resources there for a really good discount price. I'm going to be honest. If you gave me that offer, if you came to me and you said, Drongo, I got a great deal for you. I've got 2 Nest of Bees for 5 spears and a knight. I would take that offer every single day of the week, mate. That is a great offer, but a little bit of a view bug there. I don't know what causes that view bug. That is a really strange... Yeah, there's this weird thing that happens, so I'm moving it around. So instead of me, like, going down like that, I do this thing where I go like that, but it bugs out sometimes. But Palace Guards now beginning to move forward. They do have that +1 melee. Nest of Bees on the back line, going to be able to fire down on the or rain hell. But we've got the first Lunch Connect coming out of the day. Puppy Paw going to be the first one to do that. He is in the top 100, so look at the damage that actually comes out from that Nest of Bees. A lot of damage. I tell you what, that's more damage. It's 80 damage, actually. That's a pretty decent amount. Compare that to a Mangonel. It's a lot of damage, but the Prelate actually going to go down, goes down to the Wolf. Lunch Connect going to take it out, but, you know, it's too little too late at this point. Now back towards the Blacksmith. We've got another knight going to be going down. And I think Vortex is in a decent spot. You know, this is something that we've talked about. He's sitting on 72 villages at the moment. He's going to continue skyrocketing. And 46 now for Puppy Paw. And now keep in mind, okay, he's got 3 relics. All right, so he's in a good spot. Okay, but the problem is those 3 relics, think of it as like a static boost. You know, it's the equivalent of like, okay, congratulations, you've got 900 gold a minute from those relics, but that's it. It doesn't scale. Villages are going to continue scaling throughout the game. Now, obviously, that's 900 gold a minute for the rest of the game. So it's great with that regard. It's the gift that keeps on giving. But the issue that you're going to have is that your enemy is double TC and Song Dynasty, which is basically a 3-town center boom. And you're sitting on 1 TC. So eventually, they're going to reach 140 villages, and your 3 relics is not going to mean too much. Like, sure, it meant a lot at 14 minutes into the game. But once you start getting into, you know, 30 minutes into the game, it starts to mean a lot less. And so it becomes really difficult to justify staying in the 3rd age. So hopefully Puppy Paw is going to consider going up to the next stage. It's why we do see a lot of players heading up towards that 3rd age. But now we've got a Siege Workshop coming out for Puppy Paw as well. He's looking to secure up this sacred site. He's managed to do so, but we actually hear that the Prelate just getting cut down right there. I love that sound as well. It kind of sounds like a, you know, when you hit like a metal pot, it's like thunk, thunk. Oh my god. Can you guys see the base of the Nest of Bees? Dude, the Nest of Bees sounds so fucking sick, don't they? Like off in the distance, it sounds like, you know, like war is coming. The Nest of Bees are... Sounds so good. A little bit of a raid now coming down towards the east of the base as well for Vortex. Vortex is doing pretty well at this point in time, but I will just say that like his enemy is doing a great job of just multitasking, keeping him on his feet. Double springled, triple springled, quadruple springled going to be coming out now for Puppy Paw, and this is the exact number of springles that he needs. So he's got 120 damage here. Now, keep in mind, the Nest of Bees, how much health have these guys got? 300 health. So 3 shots is actually going to kill a Nest of Bees. It will deny a Nest of Bees. And with these 4 out, it's basically going to mean that he can potentially even lose 1, and he's still going to be able to one-shot these Nest of Bees. So a nice decision from him. And the Lance Connect are going to be incredibly effective against these Palace Guards as well. So Puppy Paw making the right decision. Nice little bit of a long-distance gold mine. You know, everybody loves a little bit of long-distance mining at some point in their life, and it looks like Vortex has opted for a tournament game to be doing it. So, look, I can definitely get behind this. Who knows whether we actually see another mining camp that comes up, or whether he's just going to keep doing this. Like, this is very efficient long-distance mining. If you ever wanted to long-distance mine, you'd want to do it with 2 mining camps like this, you know, more walking efficiency. So, who knows whether we see a potential mining camp get dropped down at the front here. We'll have to keep paying attention. He's actually mined 500 gold by long-distance mining. Rank 6, by the way. I'm currently roasting Vortex just for the memes. You know I love him. He's an incredibly good player. But now, look at those Nest of Bees just firing off. God damn. Looking beautiful as those bees begin firing down upon the knights of his opponent. I was going to say the militia in the front. The units in the front are doing an incredible job, just screaming out. I would love to see from Vortex a potential... I'd love to see the Dynasty, the Yuan Dynasty come out for him. We'll have to see how he plays it, but continuing now to focus down the enemy troops up towards the north of the opponent's base now. Huge masses beginning to build. Springalds are on the back line looking to focus down those Nest of Bees. They do a great job. First one going down. Second one needs to go down as well. There it goes. Plenty of Nesta Bees still out, but look at the damage that's already come out in that short time. The Nesta Bees have been able to do plenty of damage on the front line. It looks like the Palace Guards are going to begin to overwhelm the Knights, and the Springalds from his opponent, Vortex, are going to be able to clean up the Springalds now from Puppy Paw, and he's looking incredibly strong right now, Vortex, as he continues to push through. And this is what makes the Chinese composition so strong. It's the movement speed that comes out with these Palace Guards. They are just incredibly quick. 1.38 movement speed means that they're able to get in the face of their opponent and really be oppressive. So we'll have to see as to whether we have a Yuan dynasty coming in shortly. You can see that he is looking to begin adding more and more farms towards the back of his base. He's sitting on 97 villages at the moment. Compare that over to his opponent, who sits on 57 villages, so a 40 villager lead. Now, keep in mind, you know, you can't take away the fact that there's obviously a Regnitz Cathedral. It's got 3 relics in there, but in reality, it's not a huge amount of gold. Sure, don't get me wrong, it's a lot of gold. 900 gold a minute, you know, I'll take it. If you're offering it, I'll take it. But compare that to 2 villages, or 2 town centers rather, in that Song dynasty. It is an absolutely brutal position to be in. And yeah, so you might be wondering, okay, Drongo, why are you so keen on this guy going to H4? What's so special about H4? So it's the landmark that's called the Palace of Swabia. So not only is the landmark cheaper, but the landmark enables you to train villagers 4 times as fast for 1/4 of the cost. So they cost 12 food, and they train in 5 seconds. It's the equivalent of 4 town centers in a single landmark. So you look over here towards Vortex, and you see, okay, Vortex has got 2 town centers. He's doing a 2 town center boom. And then you're like, okay, but he's also in the Song dynasty. So technically he's doing a 3.09 town center boom. Well, then you go and take what his opponent could be doing, which has got 1 town center, and then he's got the Palace of Swabia, which is 4, and he's doing a 5 town center boom. So that is essentially what is so strong about going to the 4th age with the Holy Roman Empire, is just simply because they're able to put out so many villages in such a short amount of time. But now that push is going to begin coming in for Vortex as well. He's looking pretty strong at this point. Mangonel shots. Oh, Mangonel shots. Oh, this could be big. Vortex manages to spot it out. Despite them being uphill, Mangonel shots do not get off. They manage to fall back. That could have been absolutely terrible for Vortex there. He could have lost his entire mass in the blink of an eye. Manages to survive it though. Springwood mass beginning to build for Vortex. We'll take a look towards his base and see what he's got rallying across the map. It looks like Nesta Bees combined with the Springwoods are going to continue coming out. Going to have an emergency keep getting thrown down here by his opponent. He does spot it out. Mangonel's moving in. Mangonel's moving in. Oh, they're going to be disgusting. Managing to get off a huge shot on the front line. 3 Mangonels here, and they are going to be absolutely able to wipe out all of this infantry. Actually, just firing down on the Nesta Bees instead. Got to be careful here, because unless he pulls villagers at this point in time, those Mangonels are going to be going down. The castle going to be going down, or rather, the castle going to be completing. Mangonels all survive, and Vortex actually gets cleaned up. The score lead goes over to Puppy Paw. He is looking incredibly good right now, and Vortex making a bit of a mistake. So I would just, like, one of my big things with China is if you can push in age 3, don't push in age 3. That's really it. If you think you can, just don't. Don't waste your time. Just sit in your base, keep making villages, go up to the next stage. Like that is your Chinese game plan. You do not, if you think you can push age 2, don't. You think you can push age 3, don't. Because your opponent has just got so many more ways to deal effectively with what you've got than you do. At least until you get into that late game. But now those Nesta Bees going to be doing what they do best and bugging out as they begin to try and fire off towards those Knights. Plenty of spears going to be coming out and trying to stop them. We see him trying his best to run away. He really needs to begin building up that massive Springolds in his base. I'd love to see him making sure that he is spamming those out. You can see that he is. He's got a couple of idle villagers there. Plenty of stone in the bank, so he's going to be able to drop down an emergency keep if he wants to. But I am a little bit fearful of a Trebuchet potentially going to be coming out and sealing the deal for him. Puppy Paw looking incredibly strong. Keep in mind, I think this is the second game between these two players, so Puppy Paw looking to even up the score at this point in time. We can see that at the moment he's about 400 points ahead, so he's looking pretty decent as we head in towards this mid game at the moment. 23 minutes now. A little bit of a comparison between these two players. It's 56 villagers for Puppy Paw. Vortex going to be sitting on 103, so double the villager count right now for Vortex, but still his military mass is small. It is insignificant. It is tiny. It is needing a lot of work. That's probably the best way to say it. Villagers getting picked off here on the wood line. At least they look like they were on a wood line. Yeah, they were on a wood line. They're on this wood line down here. He's got another wood line that's in his base, but he's opting to go out and to the south. I don't even know how these units got in behind here. Did you guys see that? There was an explosion down here. Did you guys see that? Was that just me, or was that an explosion? I swear I saw an explosion on that night. It kind of looked like it had been hit with a fire lancer. I don't think there's any fire lancers in here. Oh, apparently I've just been advised Puppy is currently up. 1-0, apparently. Wow. Okay. Well, there you go. Puppy on match point. Wow. Mangonels and Springald's going to be pushing down towards the south. Obviously realizes that there's plenty of villagers down here. Vortex has already dropped down that castle in his main base. And now at this point, Puppy going to be looking pretty good. I tell you what, that really... I don't know if that's reliable. That may not be correct, but that is what I've been advised. So we'll have to see how that goes. Villagers going to be potentially under a bit of threat here as the Springalds on the back line doing their best. Villagers have evacuated. They've been made a little bit safer. But one of the things to note that neither players really look to go for yet is any stone walls. So no stone walls coming out from either player, just both of them opting towards a more palisade-based composition when it comes to their infrastructure in their base. I like that, a palisade-based infrastructure. Or palisade-based composition. Think about that for a second. You know, you're making a composition of walls, and it's palisade-based. But now we've got Puppy Paw continuing to push in. We'll take a look at his line of sight and see exactly what he spots. 9 Springalds, 3 Mangonels, so a lot of them. Plenty of Springalds coming out for his opponent as well. So Vortex doing a pretty decent job here. He's got 8 Springalds out and going to look to try and focus those down. Villagers got to be careful here. Villagers are going to be careful here on the front line. They do not have that upgrade, the textile upgrade, so they're all going to be going down. They're going to be so careful as they continue to try and fight in. You see the defense coming through. All of the villagers actually going to get pulled. This is not good right now. All of the Mangonels have actually gone down, so he should be fine to actually survive this. And we see that the Springalds are going down for his opponent. A few Nester Bees on the back line, and it looks like Vortex might actually be able to clean this one up. Plenty of damage coming out onto the front line here. The Knights going down, and Villagers managing to come back and be able to finish this one off with the assistance of the Palace Guards as well as the Spearmen. So a nice little cleanup from Vortex down here towards the south of the map. The push did not, unfortunately, come to shove for Puppy Paw. But now, triple Mangonel out of the... Oh, it's only a double Mangonel. I thought it was a triple Mangonel from the top rope coming in right there. That looked like it could have been really scary right there. But it looks like those Mangonels are probably a little bit overextended. Villagers just throwing out random voice lines after they finish the construction of specific buildings. But there is a little bit of a battle going down right here. Please don't mind me, villagers. Going to be able to clean this one up. Going to be able to seal this wall in as well. But he's doing pretty decently at this point, I got to say. I'm impressed with how Puppy Paw has played this so far. Both players relatively even in score. Less than 20 points difference between the two now. Or 24 points difference between them. But we'll do a quick villager count. We'll see exactly how they're doing. So Vortex on 111 villagers. We'll check in on his opponent. So opponent on 66 villagers. So he's managed to close the gap a little bit, but still he is sitting quite far behind. Consider that he does have the Regnitz Cathedral, but at the same time, that is not really a scaling bonus. It's more of just a linear bonus that happens once and then that's it. You know, it's that continuous trickle. Villager going to be coming out. Probably could get picked off by the Springalds if he's not paying attention, but just going to be putting down that next or that wall. No, or there's going to be a gate coming up as well. He could be repairing these walls on the front, but nothing just yet. Vortex now going to be looking to seal up this sacred site in the middle of the map. Do note that there are still 2 relics down here towards the south that he's yet to take. His opponent obviously could look to take that as well. And more siege now coming out for Puppy Paw as well. I really got to say, I love this siege-based play that we're seeing out of these players. And Lanch Connect now beginning to run across the map. 5 Lanch Connect. They kind of look like they've come out of the Burgrave Palace. He doesn't have a Burgrave Palace, or at least I don't think he does. So for anybody unfamiliar with the Burgrave Palace, it is the other landmark that you get to make. It's the mutually exclusive landmark for the Holy Roman Empire in the Third Age. But now Springald's going to be firing out. They need to be firing out on that Mangonel. The Mangonel manages to stay alive. He's got to be careful here. There's a lot of units that are moving in. The Mangonel does actually die. Spears are going to be coming into a great position here, managing to take out all of the siege from his opponent. Vortex doing a great job of microing that one. And I'm curious as to exactly how his opponent's going to respond to it right now, because Vortex is beginning to pull ahead. You can see he's got a great composition here. The Lanch Connect actually going to do quite a lot of damage, so he's got to be careful. And now actually doing a little bit of miss micro here, running past a little bit too far, and now subsequently leaving the Springalds open. You can see he's doing a great job of just firing them down and then moving on. He doesn't want to engage in the fight. He just puts the damage on and then just gets out doing the smart thing. And now these Lanch Connects on the front line, you can see how much damage they're doing. More Springalds going to be coming out and trying to deal with these Lanch Connects. They've only got 80 health, so it's not a huge amount of health. But now going to force them back. So Vortex looking good. His villager count continues to rise. At this point, still about double what his enemy is. He's sitting at 120 villagers compared to the 71. So up about 50 villagers at this point. And this is one of the things that I said earlier in the game, is that this is why going up to the Imperial Age is so important for the Holy Roman Empire, because at this point now, we're at the 29-minute mark, this is where they're falling off. They're starting to fall off. I mean, his economy is not looking terrible, but if we take a look at the income per minute right now, you can see that when it comes, you know, between these two players, he's managing to maintain a significant gold lead, but when you look at the income, you can see that Vortex is significantly ahead. Obviously got a very large wood income for him as well. So sitting up on 1,800 wood at the moment, going to be looking to add in plenty of farms. Keep in mind when it comes to gold, he's obviously got a lot of gold available to him. He has actually mined out this gold completely, so he's going to be looking towards a new gold mine. He's actually got this one down towards the south of his base, but now, once again, it looks like the spears were out of place, but I say that, and they look like they're going to be cleaning up the majority of these knights. Knights have got the full upgrades in. Spears, by the same token, have got at least their melee upgrades in. And Sacred Sight's going to get taken out. It looks like that was a monk. I think that was a monk. No, I think that was a spear. I'm not sure exactly what that was, but manages to survive. The prelate does, as he continues to push up towards this northern Sacred Site now. And I tell you what, like, this is actually turning out to be a pretty decent game. Normally maps on these games on this map can be kind of resident sleeper. You just be sitting there and be like, okay, and then the player is going to drop down a 15th town center and make some more villages. And you know, that's the typical way that this game plays out, or this map plays out. But I mean, there's been action everywhere, and there's been a lot of siege. Like, if there is one sentence I would say to summarize this game, it has been a game of siege. It has just been non-stop. Like, to be fair, there's been a lot of monks out on the map as well. I was curious as to why players haven't actually looked to secure up the relics down here towards the south. It's a lot of gold that they're missing out on. But yeah, there's just been so much siege running around this game. We'll take a look at Puppy Paw from his perspective and see what he has. So he's now moved out towards the middle of the map. He's got no castles down or no keep towards this position, and he ideally really needs one. If this is his only wood line that's available to him, yeah, it's kind of not the best wood line either. Ideally, you'd probably prefer one on the edge of the map, but realistically, he doesn't have the best spawn when it comes to that wood line. The Springwood's going to be continuing to push in. They've got so much range on them, and you can see villagers. Is he pulling vills right now? I don't know how I feel about a villager pull at this point, my friend Puppy. You don't have that many villagers to spare. You're not in the Imperial Age. You can't really be spamming out villagers. So you got to be careful. Puppy now looking to move down. First Mangonel going to get taken out. Second Mangonel manages to get a shot off. It's only going to be on Springwood, so it's not particularly a difficult thing. Villagers getting pulled. A lot of men-at-arms in here as well. Looking to actually get into a bit of a fight. Now we've got a beautiful battle beginning to come out right there. Puppy Paw throwing down with the villagers, doing a great job. All of those spearmen getting in and poking, stabbing down their enemy. Plenty of knights coming out. The Springwoods on the back line, taking out the Springwoods of his enemy. But once again, it all comes down to siege superiority. And in reality, I mean, if you've only got Springwoods left, it's not like there's anything that you really need to worry about. Men-at-Arms going to be retreating out. They probably don't need to. I think they could probably hold up on that fight. Keep in mind, these are Holy Roman Empire Men-at-Arms. They do have that +6 against heavy. And more Men-at-Arms going to be coming in right now. And Puppy Paw actually looking like he may be potentially in the lead here as he looks to pick up reinforcements with his knights on the back line. A nest of bees going to be coming in here. 3 Springwoods as well, still trying to get out of here. But these men-at-arms actually looking incredibly strong right now, and I think Vortex was probably not paying enough attention because he didn't get the memo about men-at-arms being actually pretty good. We'll take a look over at Vortex and see what he's got in preparation for this, because undoubtedly he's going to need something to deal with these men-at-arms. I'm thinking maybe a few fire lancers wouldn't go too bad. Barracks is going to be coming down. He's dropping down more barrackses. Curious decision, but beautiful surround coming in here for his opponent. Puppy Paw looking great as those lancers force back the nest of bees. A lot of these men-at-arms beginning to move up towards the nest of bees. There's 4 of them back here. First one going to get sieged down. Slowly but steadily, he's running past them. He says, you know what? I don't need spears. I don't need to deal with them. Manages to actually get them back behind this line, and this is going to be able to keep them alive. In Australia, we've got a saying, kids alive do the 5, and it looks like the nest of bees are going to stay alive, so hopefully they're going to be doing the 5. There is 5 of them out here, but now they managed to actually all get taken out. They fall back towards that castle, and I think that's the first time this castle has actually shot something. So, look, at least it's getting its value in. He doesn't actually have the boiling oil, but he does have the harpoon in. What a game! I mean, this is pretty incredible. It's going back and forth. Despite, you know, the difference in villagers, Puppy Paw is still managing to keep up with his opponent. I mean, we have seen that the score is beginning to build out for Vortex at this point in time. He's continuing to secure up more land down here towards the south. Still yet to take these relics, but a lot of villagers out on this gold mine. If we do a quick stock take, 76 villagers for Puppy Paw. 130 for Vortex. So it is a significant advantage right now for Vortex. Vortex actually maxed out as well, so he's sitting on 200 population, whereas Puppy Paw is only on 117. So I would definitely say at this point Vortex is in a significant lead, but Puppy Paw has done well to hold out this long in Age 3. But by the same token, I think that Vortex sort of knew what his game was. He knew what he had to do. I mean, there were a couple of times where he pushed out, he overextended. It almost cost him the game multiple times, but it looks like he's going to be able to secure this one. The castle not going to be going down on this mining camp, so he's going to be losing out villagers. Keep in mind, he's got 126, so he can afford to lose a few. We'll say that much. And now his opponent going to be drawing him down towards this position as well. You can see the units moving down. Ideally, you're just bringing the villagers up towards this position. You just mine out here. It's going to be a lot easier for you. Instead, he's going to go towards the front of his base. I'd love to see a castle get placed down here for Vortex as well. Would make life a lot easier for him. But now back towards the base of Puppy Paw, and we can see that he has expanded out towards this direction, obviously realizing that the tree lines in the middle of the map aren't the safest of tree lines. But now over towards this edge, we do see Vortex beginning to move out here, looking for more villagers. We've got ourselves a little bit of a push coming through with a couple of Landsknecht and Men-at-Arms. Vortex now going to be clicking up to the next age, going to be going up with 15 villagers, probably in the middle of the map. Yep, in the middle of the map, dropping down that Spirit of the Way. So no surprise there. I'd love to see just a whole bunch of stables get thrown down around that as well. Villagers getting forced off this wood line as well, and now moving back towards the base. Vortex definitely having to fight for his life, his tournament life at the moment. More villagers coming in to actually put down a little bit of a gate for them as well and say, don't worry, you guys. Come on, come on, come on. Everybody, get in, get in. There we go. There you go. Now you're looking good. But now reaching the next age, Vortex going to be going up. We'll take a look at his production and see what upgrades he's got coming through. Elite Palace Guards is what he's going to be going with. Town Center going to be forced to be under a little bit of attack here. Needs to do his best to try and clean this up. You can see the Men-at-Arms are doing their best to try and get in, do some damage. But at the same time, I mean, Vortex is getting cleaned up here towards the north. Back towards his own base. He's also getting dealt with these knights. A lot of Springles actually coming out for him. He's got 8 Springles. They only do 30 damage a pop, but it looks like it's going to be almost enough to one-shot the knights. And that attack back towards his base is slowly but steadily getting cleaned up. You can see the villager count beginning to lower down for Vortex. He's sitting on 120 at the moment, but compare that over to his opponent, who sits on 74, and he's still 46 villagers ahead. So Puppy Paw has got quite a way to claw himself back in towards a victorious position. Mangonel's going to get a beautiful shot. All the villagers fall down like they've had the Spanish flu. Unfortunate for them. Puppy Paw going to be looking pretty decent right now. Only 3 Mangonels out. Not a whole lot of Springles for him, but he's going to be able to click up to the next age as well. Actually, just spending it all on units. And these Men-at-Arms beginning to move in. He's going to be able to take out the majority of the Springles, but look on the back line. The Nest of Bees just firing off. Elite Palace Guard's going to be trying their best as well. And all of these villagers just going to be standing by, ready to heal up potentially, ready to tank a bit of damage. And look at the Springles just slicing through the enemy Springles, and all of the mass of Puppy Paw unfortunately has gone down. Great job from microing the Springles there from Vortex, doing a great job. He's up about 2,400 points at this point, and the majority of the units going to be going down for his opponent. So Puppy Paw definitely going to be walking away from this one with his tail between his legs, and hoping for better days ahead. We'll take a look over towards his base as well and see whether he did click up. It doesn't look like he did click up. So still going to be working in that age 3. Obviously, his opponent is in the next age. We've got Elite Palace Guards coming out. We've probably got, let's take a look at the Blacksmiths. No upgrades coming through just yet. No University coming through for him either. So not yet to get the Elite Tactics, or what's it called? Elite something tactics, Elite Army Tactics I want to go with. It is it's a pretty strong tech. It'll give him an extra 20% health on these bad boys. But we'll take a look at what the other upgrades are coming out for him. So he's only got tier 1 of horticulture. He's got tier 1 wood cutting as well. And we'll take a look at the mining. Doesn't even have specialized pick, unfortunately, for him. We'll have a look over at Puppy Paw and see what upgrades he has got. So Puppy Paw, on the other hand, doesn't actually have wheelbarrow. Doesn't have specialized pick. Has got tier 2 of woodcutting. So he doesn't need specialized pick because he's playing the Holy Roman Empire. A lot of his gold is going to be coming from his relics. So that's my thinking behind that. And the fact that he doesn't have fertilization or wheelbarrow, I mean, you got that much spare gold, you might as well just get him. It just makes sense. But he's going to be clicking up to the next stage now, going up with that Palace of Swabia. A bit late for the Palace of Swabia, coming through at 39 minutes now. So look, better late than never. You could always go for the other landmark, I feel like, but there's not really a point of contention that you'd probably want to be securing on this map. I mean, maybe you could put it out over towards the middle here, but there's really not much. I mean, there's sacred sites at most. So, yeah, it kind of makes sense to be going with the Palace of Swabia. But now he's got to be careful. Puppy Paw going to be losing a couple of villagers out over here. He's got 21 villagers on this wood line. All of these Palace Guards going to be running in. They don't have any particularly strong upgrades just yet, but it's going to be more than enough to force these villagers back. Springald's going to be coming in. Plenty of Lance Connect as well. Looking to meet their maker over in the enemy military army. I'd love to see some Imperial Lance Connects coming out, or Elite Lance Connects rather, but now they're going to be getting in. Let's have a look at the damage that they managed to do. We'll take a look from the perspective of Vortex and see exactly the health that he's got out for these units. And you can see how fast they're actually getting slayed. The Lance Connect are doing incredibly well. Raids coming in from multiple sides. 4 knights over on the eastern front. Over on the western front, some knights have managed to get through the wood line. So a little bit of an overchop. Going to get chased down by spears, but it looks like this front is going to get cleaned up. Though the question is, how many villagers did go down? Down to 67 villagers for Puppy Paw. Compare that to his opponent who sits on 117. So almost double the villager count. Still 40 minutes into this game. And that's exactly why you want to try and get into that Imperial Age. You guys hear that sound going off in the background? That is all those units just coming out non-stop. He's got production out the wazoo at this point, and he's going to continue pushing out. Look how fast these units are going. These guys move really, really quickly. He must be in the Yuan Dynasty. Is he in the Yuan Dynasty? Where is it? I'm looking for it. Where's that landmark? I can't actually see it. He might not be in it. Yeah, he's only in the Song Dynasty. He's not in Yuan yet. How are those guys moving so damn fast? Under attack in multiple locations now, managing to clean that up. It looks like stone walls have come up for him, so going to prevent any potential attacks coming through from that direction. But now pushing in towards his opponent, we see those Springalds. They don't have their upgrades just yet. It looks like he's got them out for his opponent, so the roller shutter trigger is going to be coming in for the Springalds of his own, managing to take out that Mangonel before it gets to set down and do any real damage in on this army. So one of the most important upgrades in this game is that roller shutter triggers. So if we take a look over at the base of his opponent, if we can get up there, so you can see that they've got this upgrade here. Roller shutter triggers increases the tile, or increases the range by +2 tiles, and also decreases the time it takes to reload by 25%. But raids coming down everywhere. Puppy Paw doing a great job here, trying to hold on. You can see that he's fighting down a significant amount when it comes to population. You know, like Vortex has just been maxed for the last 10 minutes, but still we can see, you know, how hard he's fighting. Elite Knights also coming in right now for his opponent. And keep in mind, Elite Knights pretty much kill everything pound for pound. So you really got to, I mean, I guess that's before the patch. After the patch, now that you've got Elite Spearmen have got that buff, it's going to be a different story. But now we've got a little bit of a push happening for the very first time in the game. Vortex is actually pushing into the base of his opponent. We've got units across the map beginning to stream out. I'd love to see more production for Vortex, so just dropping down, you know, 15, 20 barracks in the middle of the map. He's going to be trying to clean up this mass on the backlines. Nesta B is doing a beautiful job here as the Springalds get focused down. Mangonel's getting a shot back on here. Men-at-Arms. Oh my lord, those Nesta Bs are absolutely popping off right now. Men-at-Arms doing a decent job. I don't think these are upgraded to Imperial. No, I take that back. They are elite Men-at-Arms. You can tell by that little feather that they got on the top. They're going to be cleaning this mess up completely. And Puppy Paw managing to hold on despite having a significantly lower population amount from his opponent. Still going to be able to clean this one up. No Lance Connects in the mix at this point in time, but the Mangonel is going to be doing plenty of damage. And now back towards the base of Vortex. You just hear all of those units begin getting produced. But look at this, down to 173 population now. Holy moly, man. You really got to wonder, is there something to this Man-at-Arms play? There could potentially be. Only 113 pop out for him, but it looks like he's holding on for dear life. Beginning to move out all over the map. He's adding in outposts here as well, just for that extra line of sight, just to let him know when there's enemy units going to be coming in, because it's also adding in, I love this, he's milling up the berries at 43 minutes, because why not? Why not? Ideally, I'd love to see him mix in Lance Connect with these Men-at-Arms. It would be absolutely awesome to see. He's got plenty of gold in the bank as well, so if he wants to get those Lance Connect out, he's going to have no issue with it, because they are quite heavy on the gold. But he's got plenty of upgrades that he could look to go into as well. But now, he's got to be careful. There's a lot of siege out here for his opponent. And it looks like the Yuan Dynasty has now been added in. So he's got the elite, the Imperial Palace that's come out. So that's going to give him that movement speed bonus. He's probably going to be working towards that Ming Dynasty as well, which is going to be buffing up the units, giving him plenty of insight as towards where his opponent is. But now we see that those shots from the Mangonel managing to come out. He needs to bring these Springalds forward. That's exactly what he's got. He's got a Bombard coming out as well. Going to be able to apply that siege damage. I wonder if he's got that Pyrotechnics upgrade in. We'll check. No pyrotechnic upgrade coming in just yet. We'll check for Vortex and see. No university actually coming down for Vortex. So we're at 44 minutes into the game. He's been in Imperial for about 7 or 8 minutes at this point and still no university. So let this be a lesson to you kids at home. Get your university, get your upgrades in, because there are a lot of good upgrades in there that you can get. He's dropping it down. Okay, he listened. He heard me. He said, Drongo, I hear you. I heed your advice. I heed your warning. I will build a university and I will educate my people. And that's exactly what he's going to begin doing. Now pushing down the gates of his opponent ever so slowly. So this is the technology he wants to get. Elite Army Tactics, so increases the health of all melee infantry by 20% and their damage by 20%. Also, this one, Ancient Techniques, also a really good technology, increasing the gather rate of villagers by 5% for each dynasty achieved. And slowly but steadily, Vortex is going to be pushing down the front door. The keep going to be going down ever so slowly. Getting pyrotechnics in. Actually, that pyrotechnics came in really quickly. Hold on. Where did he research pyrotechnics at? I didn't even see him research pyrotechnics. That was a really quick research. Does he have a Imperial official down here? Where did he get the pyrotechnics from? That was really quick. Vortic now going to continue falling back, but now his opponent looking to push in. It looks like it might be a final push as men-at-arms coming in from multiple sides. The Nest of Bees firing off. You hear him chickataring. Mangonel going to be looking to connect now with his opponents. Those Nest of Bees doing absolute damage here on the front line towards the main base. And now we can see the surround beginning to build for Vortex. He's looking incredibly strong right now as he is cleaning up this army of his opponent. We see the reinforcements. You hear them coming in, streaming in across the map. The Fire Lancers are out. They are elite Fire Lancers. Is that going to be what he needs to seal the deal here? I suspect once the Fire Lancers get through, that's going to be GG. Those Fire Lancers, they do not fuck around when it comes to enemy bases, that is for sure. Fire Lancers out now, moving out over to the west as well, but it is now Vortex who is really looking incredibly strong here. University going down for his opponent. He's looking to get that same upgrade as well, but it looks like the Palace Guards are going to be able to overwhelm his opponent here. And it looks like we've got a tap out coming in from Puppy Paw. So Vortex taking this game. Fellas, if you're watching this on YouTube, I hope you enjoyed it. It was an absolute marathon. I didn't think it was going to go this way. I really didn't. Puppy Paw was looking incredible at multiple points throughout the game. Once again, this is part of EGC's summer series, so make sure you check out the EGC Discord server. I'll show you guys what the timelines look like. I'll leave a link to that Discord server in the description, but you can see the villager count gets really, really high here, and this is the difference. So you got to think about it from the perspective of the Holy Roman Empire player. Those 3 relics that come in, it's going to be like a pop-up to here, right? Or like, let's say an extra 20 villagers or something like that. And then you got to add that 20 villagers in for the rest of the game, and you're constantly going to be below your enemy unless you add in that age 4, and that age 4 just came way too late. Puppy Paw played it really well though, so if you're watching this on YouTube, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll catch you guys in the next one.